So this is a fictitious recording of a therapeutic relationship. There should be no reason that you take this seriously. It is just a class project. Okay, so hi, Kelly. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. So this will be like the second meeting that we've had. When we first got together, you mentioned struggling with overeating.
Yeah.
You weren't really sure what you were going to do about it, and you just kind of wanted some help. Has anything changed since I last saw you?
No, not really.
Okay. Have you given any more thought to your overeating?
Yeah, I mean, I continue to think about it, but I don't know. I just don't know what to do.
Okay. So it sounds like you've been ruminating on this problem in general, but you kind of have no direction, or you haven't made a decision about what you're going to do.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I realize that it might not be that good to do, but I also don't really see how bad it is. And it's just so hard. Like I've kind of tried to stay away from things or control portions, but it's never worked.
Okay. So you've attempted to regulate your eating in the past, and there's just been several barriers. You mentioned that it was difficult. Can you tell me what about it is difficult?
I mean, I guess everything. Like when I start eating cookies, for example, when I eat one, it's like, oh, that was good, but I still want more. And it's like that wanting more never stops until I feel kind of sick. So you intend to eat one or two cookies, and then you end up eating like a sleeve of cookies.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That sounds interesting. On the one hand, you've mentioned that you think it's bad, you kind of want to stop. On the other hand, with bad consequences, your stomach hurting. But on the other hand, you're just not sure. You're not even really sure if overeating is that bad for you. Is that right?
Right.
Okay. Do you think your overeating is serving a purpose?
I'm sure it is in a way. Like I definitely get comfort out of it initially. It's like a treat. It's like a positive thing,
Okay. So the food, the end result seems positive. What else is positive about it?
It's delicious. I don't overeat asparagus or things like that. I mean, it's just good. It tastes good. It makes you feel good. Like when you were a kid and you're like, oh, you're doing something good. Here's a cookie, or, just delicious and good.
Okay. So there's a lot of positive associations you have with food.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds almost as if the food you're consuming that you've considered junk food or bad for you is your own reward system.
Yeah, for sure.
And how do you think that's played out in your life so far?
I mean, I don't think it was a problem until my weight became more of a struggle. Like just in the past couple of years, has it become like an issue?
Okay. So you've only noticed a problem or identified it as a problem until it became significant about your weight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, other than that, I don't really see an issue with it. Other than I know that it's contributing to weight gain, in or not being able to lose weight,
Okay.
those types of things.
Okay. Um, well, tell me about the relationship between not thinking it's that bad for you, and having weight as the only factor that makes you want to stop.
Well, I know to be overweight is unhealthy and just, not good for your body and everything. So I understand that generally that is not a good thing to have. And I know that for me, the binge eating too much in one setting is contributing to why. So, I mean, that's kind of what I see the relationship as being is like, if I could quit doing that altogether, I probably wouldn't be overweight. But it's just so hard to stop doing that. So you can do okay for a while and then it just, bam, it happens again.
Okay. I mean, I think the story you're telling is a very significant one that a lot of Americans go through. We live in a culture and society where dieting and being thin is kind of thrown in our faces all the time, and it seems like you've tried in the past and it hasn't always worked, but that it's kind of constantly on your mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what has worked in the past?
Um, Probably the biggest thing that has worked in the past is just keeping um foods out of the house that I would normally do that with, like not having Oreos here or not having stuff to make cookies or cupcakes, just not having it readily available. So at least I would have to make some effort to go get those things.
Mhm. So it sounds like to fulfill the goals you need to not overeat, it would take a lot of effort on your part. There's a lot of components that rely on you and your behaviors to maintain you not eating junk food.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I don't just live by myself, so if somebody else goes and gets cookies and brings them home, if we go to a birthday party or something and they want us to take leftovers home, just like a lot of different factors that make it really hard to keep those things out of my daily view.
So temptations that are out of your control are really difficult for you to manage.
Yeah, and then once that happens, it's like a spiral effect. Like once the leftovers come here and I binge eat those, and I'm just like, oh well, might as well pick up some Oreos while I'm at the store, and it's just like a spiral effect.
Okay. So how do those experiences contribute to how you feel about uh, possibly fixing this problem?
I mean, whenever it's like a month long of, like several times a week eating a lot of the junk food and stuff, after about a month, then I end up feeling really bad. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've gained 5 pounds in a month. This is just another setback into trying to get where I need to be weight wise in the healthy range. And, then it just becomes kind of overwhelming. And then I'll do well for a couple weeks and then I'll give up. Or the temptations have come back, So it's just really hard to continue to quit doing it.
Okay. I hear your struggle, and I hear that it's really difficult for you to manage that by yourself almost. Do you think there's any support that you need, or what would help you in completing this goal?
Probably having more family support, but I just don't have that because I've talked to them about it before, and that does not deter them from, take home leftovers, buying cookies and bringing them, or coming home and be like, oh, we should go eat ice cream. Like, even though they know the struggle and everything, they are not receptive to quit doing it. Things that are going to kind of send me in a downward cookie binge.
So I wonder what there's you can do to communicate that to them.
I don't know, because I've said before, like, I'm really trying to lose some weight, and, having cookies in the house is too hard for me. I just can't do it. Can we not have that? Or, like, I can't go out for ice cream for the next couple weeks. I need to chill out on the desserts and everything. And that just doesn't seem like, maybe for a day it won't happen, but then by day 2, it's like I never said anything.
Okay.
So it's kind of like me having to fight myself and fight that as well.
So it sounds like a lot. Like it sounds like it's almost not worth it to fight it if you're going to have to be battling it from every side.
I mean, that's definitely how I felt, up into coming to see you. Like, it's just overwhelming. I can't fight on 2 fronts kind of thing, like, it's just too much temptation to be saying no to myself and no to other people too.
Yeah, that sounds difficult. Like, it would take twice as much energy. Resisting your own actions or wants to go get some junk food is one thing, but having to say no to friends or some of the events you mentioned, you wouldn't want to miss out on those just because you don't want to eat the food that's there.
No, I don't. Like, I'm not going to miss holidays or birthday parties and stuff because I shouldn't eat too many pieces of cake. That's just it's not worth it to me. Okay. I'd rather be overweight and get to enjoy those times with friends and family than I would the opposite, Mm-hmm. But I know that, with diabetes and everything, my health is definitely affected by making bad choices as far as what I'm eating, and especially with the sweets. So it's like, I know that that's not good health choices either. That's why I keep trying.
Okay. So what I hear is that quitting food is in your mind, like quitting junk food, but at the same time, it's almost not worth it. You haven't found anything significant enough for either side to be worth it. So, you haven't found a reason that would make it worth it to be on a diet and stop eating that junk food, but you also haven't found a reason to really stay on not caring about eating junk food because it still kind of makes you happy and you'd rather just not fight everyone in your family.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of like being pulled in 2 places, it's like I wish I could, but it just has not worked out well in the past, and I don't really know how it will be better, like what I can do differently to make it better in the future.
Okay.
Does that make sense? I don't know if I said that very well.
Well, let's say it's, next year this time, and you went to a birthday party, you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
that birthday party, but next year, and you decided to reduce your junk food intake, how would that party be any different from the one that you just attended?
I mean, in any real way, it wouldn't be any different.
You said it
You
wouldn't.
know, mm-mm.
Okay.
I mean, it would be different in that I wouldn't eat too much cake, but like I would still get to enjoy being with family and friends and everything.
Okay.
Like the stuff that's really important wouldn't be different.
Mm-hmm. Do you think you'd feel different or you would react differently?
I mean, if I had a whole year where, that wasn't an issue, probably I would react differently. It probably wouldn't be so hard to be around it if I'd done it for a year,
Okay. And how likely do you think it would be for you to maintain those habits for a year?
Not very likely.
Okay. So you're still a little undecided about whether it's even worth it.
I mean, I think it would be worth it to change the behaviors, but I just don't think, like, if I'm being honest with you, I could tell you right now, yeah, it's worth it. And yeah, I'm definitely going to do it, but I just think that I will fail. Like, I think I'll try. I'll continue to keep trying. I just, like, going a whole year without making the bad choices, I just don't really have confidence that I could actually go a whole year.
Okay. Well, you said that would like be failure. So what does success look like?
I mean, for me, success would be like being able to eat desserts and stuff in moderation, like not crazy crave it and then eat a whole bag of something, but like eat it like a normal person, a normal amount of the time.
So your opinion of what successful is having control of your urges to consume junk food.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just been so hard in the past to keep that control. It's like it can work for a little while, but then something triggers and then it's overwhelming and then back to square one, kind of.
How do you get yourself back to square one after you've been overwhelmed and eaten some junk food?
I think for me, normally the trigger to try and stop again is getting back on the scale and realizing that any progress I made is now erased and we're up a few more pounds. So it's kind of like awakening, and then probably just realizing how unhealthy that is and how much trouble I'm going to get in with my doctor for doing it. And so then like that kind of wakes me back up to like, wait a minute, we need to try again to reset.
Okay. So it sounds like you weigh yourself, and then there's also consequences of when you go to meet with your doctor that remind you that, initially I wanted to maintain or lose some weight.
Right. Yeah, and then it's just like the same cycle happens over and over again. Then I'll do well for a couple of weeks, and then something happens, and then we're back to. That's why I feel like I can't. I just can't keep it up. It's like I can do it for a very short period of time, but like even a month, I think would be like a pretty big accomplishment. If I could not do that for a month, that would be hard.
Mm-hmm. It also sounds like the constant cycle of doing it and getting it off and gaining the weight and doing it and getting it off and gaining the weight has kind of taken a toll on your enthusiasm for doing it. You expect and kind of know what's going to happen once you enter this cycle.
Right. Right.
Okay. And you mentioned some things that worked in the past. What do you think could help that you haven't tried?
I don't know. I guess maybe trying to join something like having a nutritionist, or maybe joining Weight Watchers or something like that, where I have someone that I'm accountable to other than myself regularly. Because I've tried to kind of have that with my family, but they don't, they're not very supportive in that way. So maybe having an outside support that I have to like check in with regularly might be good for me.
Have you looked into any of those kinds of things?
No, because I don't know, like Weight Watchers, I don't know how it is now, but like thinking of having to like weigh myself in front of a bunch of people or whatever seems daunting. And just the fact that, I haven't done well in the past, so that would be embarrassing to go back and then mess up in front of a whole bunch of other people.
Okay.
And then the nutritionist thing, I'm just afraid of how expensive that will be. Like, could I even afford to do that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a totally valid concern. And it sounds like you're interested in groups, but there's also, you're just not sure because of the associated possible embarrassment that could happen.
Yeah. Because I feel bad enough when it happens on my own, alone, and like having that happen in front of a whole group of people be even more embarrassing,
Mm-hmm. Well,
But then I feel like maybe it could be good because I know that like when I'm doing something in a team or like for other people, I don't want to disappoint other people. Like that almost matters more because I feel like they're counting on me for something or whatever. So it might make me take it more seriously.
That's interesting that you say that, that you think on the one hand you'd be embarrassed and somewhat afraid of weighing yourself and being reliant on this group of people, but on the other hand, they might keep you more accountable.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that interesting because you also have that relationship with your family where you kind of told them, but they don't seem to have that same accountability effect on you.
No, if they were really like, I think they would have the accountability effect on me, except they just, they want the dessert too. And so, like they don't stick to the plan, which makes me not stick to the plan.
Okay. So the Weight Watchers support group people would be going through the same thing you are. So you would feel like some solidarity with them.
Yeah, I think so. And I feel like they wouldn't be bringing donuts to the meetings and being like, here, Kelly, eat some donuts while we're at them. You know what I'm saying? I feel like even if other people in the group messed up, they're not doing it on purpose, and they're not, they still have their goal or whatever. And that might be motivating to me to see too, is other people continuing to try and achieve their goal, even though they had a slip up or something.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas my family, they just don't, I don't think they're trying to be mean or anything. I think they just don't get it. I don't think they know how hard it is for me to stop. And they just don't. I mean, they're insensitive to it. You know, they wouldn't think anything about asking me to go eat ice cream all the time when I'm trying to do this. So, you know.
Yeah, it sounds like you prefer a much more supportive community, and that you believe immersing yourself in like-minded people will further your success than doing it alone or doing it with just the support of your family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think that's something that I haven't tried before that might be helpful.
Mm-hmm. Do you know? You said Weight Watchers possibly, but you're concerned about the checking, or I guess weigh-ins is what they call it. How likely are you, do you think, to try it at least?
I'd say after our conversation, I'm pretty likely at least to like go talk to somebody about it.
Mm-hmm.
And just see what it's like, what the meetings are like and stuff.
Okay. What do you think will get in the way of you doing that?
I think the only thing that would get in the way of me like actually starting with the group is like if the meetings were really far away and it was like a pain to try and work that into my schedule, you know, or if the meetings were at bad times or, you know, just things like that. Things, just kind of convenience things that can make it hard to.
Sure. So based on our conversation, how would you rate your confidence of being able to like achieve your goal on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is you don't think anything's going to happen, and 10 being like you're going to start on it tomorrow?
As far as being able to stop doing it forever, or as far as like just, you know, like contacting Weight Watchers and seeing.
Well, both of those really. You know, I'd like to hear what you think about the things we've talked about.
To actually being able to quit doing it for forever, I'd say probably like at a 3.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm just not really sure that I'm going to be able to do that. But being able, like, contacting Weight trying to try something new, I'm at like a 9 or a 10. Like, I will contact them and just see what the meetings are like and see what that's about.
Okay. Well, that sounds like a really good plan. It's nearing the end of our appointment, and you know, I really appreciate everything that you shared with me today. I learned a lot more about how you kind of feel about this issue. You know, I really didn't realize that your family was a big contributor, and that, you know, you kind of have been doing this all on your own when you really prefer a different method. And I'm glad that you were able to consider exploring that today. Do you have any other questions for me before we end today?
I don't think so, not today.
Okay, that sounds great. Well, how about we reschedule for about 3 weeks out so we can see how this has progressed?
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.